Hey everyone, welcome to my first YouTube video. And today I'm going to be talking about my Russian tortoises. I just I'm going to talk about how you can get free food for them and literally save thousands of dollars a year. So if you just have a small enclosure like this, and you have all this extra space out here, then what you can do is take a hoe and break up all this dirt, loosen it up, get some grass seed, sprinkle it over the top, and then rake that into the dirt and sprinkle it about once every day. And sooner or later that grass will grow, and once it gets big enough, you can expand this small little enclosure all the way out to this corner, to that corner, into that corner. They'll have infinite food. They will never eat it all down, and they will be able to literally sustain themselves for free. So this is their enclosure that they're in right now. So I have one in-ground hide, which if you see this, Blaze is in it right now. That's Blaze. And then I have a normal Hubba Hut right there. Food dish, I hadn't got them any food yet today because it's literally 6 a.m. So I have a hens and chicks, which if you guys are wondering, it is edible for tortoises. You just got to make sure that they're not eating too much of it. Normal household grass plant. Creeping Jenny, which is one of the best foods you can get for them. I just have some old dandelions growing in here too. That Boston fern, it's fake. And that plant right there is also fake. I have a hibiscus plant right there. That's their water bowl. There's another hens and chicks. More grass. Another in-ground hide. No one's in there right now. Octavia's still sleeping. She's my female Russian tortoise. And I do breed them, so if you guys are interested, just contact me. I'll put you on my waiting list. These guys will be having some little hatchlings pretty soon. And I have a humongous hide right here. Octavia really likes this one. That's their enclosure. So yeah, plans for them. Once this grass seed grows, I am going to move their enclosure way bigger. So it'll be this entire area for 2 little Russian tortoises. That's a lot. So they will have the time of their life. And then later this summer, I am going to get 2 more females and possibly another male. I have 2 hub huts in here. One's over there and one's right there. Bunch of sticks and some rocks. Oh, and if you're wondering where I got the grass seeds, because I did say it was for free, come right over here. Look at all these grass seeds. They're all along my house. See, I have infinite of them, so that's why it's literally for free for me. I mean, look at these things right here. More grass seeds. I can just chuck those in there and they'll grow. Probably not, but they could. Who knows? And so what I'm going to do is water this about once every day, early in the morning, probably 5:30 a.m. And then by the end of this month, that should be nice and luscious. And then I will extend their enclosure out. I will get Octavia and Blaze out for you guys so you guys can see them. And in case you guys were wondering, yes, it did rain last night. So there's Blaze, my male. My female's in here someplace. There's my female Octavia, right there. She's a tiny little sucker. I get about 4 eggs out of her a year. She's a little muddy right now. You couldn't tell. She's hiding too. She doesn't like it when I take her out of her humongous hide. I will set her right over here. She won't roam off too quickly. I can just get Blaze while I'm at it. I will bring them out front for you guys to see them. In case you're wondering, yes, they are pretty fast, but if I don't take my sweet little time, put one out front, run back at the other, then I will have plenty of time before this little sucker runs off. First of all, when I said, oh, he doesn't know what to do. Surrounded by infinite food. Literally. You see, Octavia's still sitting there. Yeah, she won't run off. She's not the one I've ever seen to run off. Blaze, on the other hand, he's a digger. He goes everywhere. You can put the enclosure 8 feet into the ground. He'll still find a way to dig underneath it. Yep, see? Blaze is still right there. So they're gonna take their sweet little time munching away at this grass. Without the lemon balm, that's not good for them. I have a lot of just weeds growing out here. So I just want to come over here and grab some dandelion. Come right over and pick it. Can literally make their salad while making a YouTube video. It's literally that easy. So if I just come over here and pick a bunch of dandelion, they will be the happiest little suckers in the world. They're still just sitting there. Oh yeah, and there's more grass seeds. Like I said, it's all around our house. And if you're going around picking up plants outdoors, make sure you know what it is before you give it to them. Haven't made that mistake yet, luckily, but just make sure. What are these? Well, looks like we're having some new flowers coming in this year. They're all over the place. I'm surprised about that. And we have a little bit of rhubarb. If I just bring them over here, they will munch away at their nice tasty dandelion salad. Yeah, I don't mow these patches right here just because they're an amazing food source. Literally come over here, pick a bunch of grass, and you'll give them some more salad. They'll munch away at that slowly but surely, but they'll still munch. They don't know what to think of it. It's been a while since I've put them out here in the front yard. Blaze over there sniffing away, trying to figure out if it's tasty or not. Looks like he's about to go after it. Or run off, one of the two. Probably run off. Oh, in case you weren't wondering, Octavia, she can lay eggs. She's plenty big enough. Sure, it's only about 2 of them in a whack, but they do lay twice a year, so. Blaze over there running off. Octavia's still just hiding in her shell. I'm gonna set you guys right up here so you guys can still watch them. You can see Octavia there, but I'm gonna go grab their real food. So these are just their store-bought grains. I make a mixture myself. It's just what I found that they like a lot. I don't see them eating this stuff because I haven't fed it to them in a very long time. So I will show you what's in these. If I can open it, that is. So that right there is some red leaf lettuce. That's about a quarter of the greens. This is some Italian parsley. This is just to make sure they get all the stuff they need. This is some romaine. That's this piece of the stem. This is summer squash. They love this stuff. I just kind of grade it up because they do not know how to eat it because it's a little bit big for their beaks. I have some carrots in here. I believe that is everything in here. Oh, I have some bell pepper too, if I can find some. Yeah, green bell pepper. Octavia, this little sucker right here, she loves this bell pepper. She'll pick it out any day of the year. I'll just come over here and just scoop a good handful out of this and just set it down on the concrete. They will most likely run over here and just start pecking away at it. Yeah, I'm just throwing it in the grass. She'll rake it up later, literally. It's been a while since I've had them outdoors, out of their enclosure, so they don't know what to do. That's why they're hiding in the shells. Blaze normally doesn't hide in the shells, so that kind of surprises me. Octavia is the more shy one. I'll bring this into their enclosure. Maybe they'll eat it in there. Oh, and I do have 2 indoor enclosures, but it is warm enough now where I can keep them outdoors summer long, and I'm going to start hibernating them. I'm surprised at how much success I've had with their little hatchlings without hibernating them. I've had way more success than most people have had. They do like the breed, that is. So, but this year I want a whole lot more. That's why I'm getting 2 more females and possibly another male. Possibly the male. I will get probably a smaller male, a non-capable of breeding male. Just a male that would be more competition for Blaze. Because he's not too avid about mating right now. Probably because he doesn't have enough competition or doesn't have enough choice. Because Russian tortoises do like their choice with females. See, they're literally just still sitting there. I don't have to ever worry about these guys running away. Oh, in case you are wondering, the outdoor enclosure... Oh, there's Cassie. That's my dog. Their outdoor enclosure, the one right back here, it does not go into the ground. It is just the slates set on the ground. But I have a good couple inches. I can literally grab a handful of this stuff, barely touching the bottom, of cypress mulch. And this stuff is dyed, but it's dyed with plant pigmentation. So it is all natural, so I'm not worried about it. Sorry about all the walking around. I only have grass in my front yard right now. I'm trying to grow it back here. Mainly weeds are taking over the lawn, so I'm having a little bit of trouble there. Octavia finally moved. Oh yes, and you've seen me step over it a few times. I do have a netting over the top of their outdoor enclosure because we do have a tendency to have hawks, eagles, and owls around. And we also have a neighborhood full of cats. So I've got to make sure that they are covered up unless I know what they're doing and where they're at. Oh, and I do have this hide where I can just barely fit my hand into it. I can put my entire arm into it, but it takes a lot of struggle. So I made it so shallow so that they can be more protected from cats and stuff if they do happen to come in. Things I do have about that much from the wall of a gap in the net because I didn't get a big enough net. It's 7 foot by 100 foot, but this enclosure is 8 foot by 8 foot, so not quite the biggest. I've got to let my dog in because she will bark constantly forever if I don't. So, yeah, go on, Cassie. Go on. All right. So, guys, there's another way you can get free food. Just pick some. If you have dandelions infesting your yard like I do, go around and pick some of those up. I have some clovers, too, all over the place. Those are some 3-leaf clovers. I had no idea how those even got there. Yeah, this is where I got all the seeds from earlier today. I woke up at 5 o'clock just to seed these places. I was going to make this originally their outdoor enclosure because the fence is already countersunk. So I literally just have to block off this area right here. But then I realized, first of all, I got to move all this stuff, make sure there's no spiders over here, clean out all those weeds because I don't know which weeds of those are toxic or not. And then fill this up with dirt and make sure it's perfect for them. And my house, my crappy house, literally blocks the sun from this pretty much all day. On the other hand, this place over here, I technically only have to cover 2 sides. The side going this way and the side going this way. Because this side, I can just set a couple bricks up here. That's fine because it's right next to the concrete so they can't dig underneath it. These sides, it's all around the dirt. So it's easiest place for them to dig. That's what I like about their huge enclosure because every place but there will be covered with concrete. So I can set those bricks or like if you've seen any outdoor enclosures people have made on YouTube besides mine, they have these Home Depot things and that's what I'm probably going to do. And they just I'll just set it along here. Don't have to worry about that side because it countersinks into the ground. So I will be fine, and they will have no chance of escaping. I think they're still a little tired. Octavia's eating. I don't know where Blaze went. He probably went back in his hide. He is a little shy little bugger right now. I have no idea why. Probably because he's never been on camera besides my Snapchat and Instagram, which you guys probably came from. So, yeah, that is their enclosure. I believe that's all I wanted to tell you guys today. Besides, so this is like a thin, like, plastic mesh that gets caught up really easily. But I have it high enough up, besides on top of that hide, which on top of the hide, it's about in front of it, about a couple inches. So if they do happen to try falling off the top of the hide, never had an issue with it, but if they do, they will actually get caught by this instead of falling and face planting and possibly tipping on their backs and dying. So it helps me out a little bit more. And if they don't try doing that, they can't hop over to this and escape because it is big enough holes where their claws will get stuck in it. I mean, that fake Boston fern gets stuck in it every day of the year. And this is my first ever year having them in an outdoor enclosure. I've never had them outdoors. So that's why they're moving so slowly, is because I think they're trying to go into their pre-hibernation. Only problem is, it's becoming summer, so it's more of a post-hibernation. I haven't hibernated at all this year, so next year will be my hibernation year. That was my first year ever hibernating them too, which I'm going to attempt the fridge method. I'm assuming the majority of you guys know about that. It's where you stick your Russian tortoises or any testudo tortoise into a box or plastic container. And for Russian tortoises, being their natural habitat normally goes below about 0 degrees Fahrenheit, about normally. You can have it around the 5-degree temperature and they will be perfectly fine. And you stick them in a box or a plastic tote, and you stick them in there for about 3 or 4 months out of the year, when they're woken up, they are sexually active. Very, very sexually active. That's the reason I want to hibernate them, because I haven't had the best success rate. I've had about 18 hatchlings out of the probably 24 that I've had of eggs, but the other eggs weren't fertilized, so it's not really my fault. So, yeah. And yeah, if any of you guys are interested in getting hatchlings, contact me either through the comments or Instagram or Snapchat, and say that you want to be put on my waiting list for little hatchlings, because I will most likely have some either this year or next year. Some years they don't produce at all, which, I mean, I don't blame them. They haven't hibernated at all. Yes, it is like 6 o'clock in the morning. It took me like half an hour to do this, and I got right on here and made this video. So yeah, it is pretty early. I will actually set you guys up right here and have you guys kind of like watch them for a little bit. You guys aren't going to really be able to see them. And I'm going to go grab their temperature gun. And it is on the colder side of the morning, so that's why it is going to be so cold. It's probably 60 some. So I have to just take this temp gun, point it around. Oh, it's about 50. Okay, a little cooler than I was expecting. Just points it around their enclosure. Way cooler than I was expecting. That's why they're trying to go into pre-hibernation. So I'll either have to bring one of my bulbs out here, or some sort of heating mechanism like a heater, just to heat up their enclosure for this morning. It's supposed to get around 70, maybe 80-ish, high 80s, high 70s, low 80s for temperature today. So it's supposed to get pretty close to up there, based off how it is June. So, yeah, I will, by July, this will be nice and luscious, and their enclosure will be that big, but it'll be up in the 90s to 100, so it'll be the perfect temperature for them. Last year was a super duper hot year. I have no idea why this year is so much cooler, but it is, so. And I do have a water bowl out here. They don't use it because it is quite cold. It is kind of feeling a little freezing temperature. I know it's not going to freeze, but it's quite cold. So I might have to change that out later today. I will probably bring them inside for tonight, though, because it's probably going to get a little cooler tonight. I do have 2 indoor enclosures. One's kind of torn apart. It's a 8 foot by 3 foot. It's kind of torn apart because the majority of stuff in this enclosure was from that enclosure. Then I have a 4 foot by 18 foot by 18 inch by 18 inch enclosure that is set up for them because I'm going up to Billings next couple weeks. So I have to have a temporary enclosure for a couple days. And I have a super small enclosure that's like a 40-gallon breeder. Super duper small. So if I need to, if I was staying someplace, I could put Activia in the 40-gallon. Not exactly the best choice, but if it's like a couple days, I'm fine. And Blaze in the 75-gallon, which is the 4 foot by 18 foot by 18 foot. So I will be fine on that part. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, like want me to show you how I take care of their hatchlings, I will plan a video for that in the future if you want me to. If you want to know like how I make their food, where I get their food from, all that kind of stuff, I will make a video on that. I will also make a video on how I dechlorinate the water and supplement their food. if you want me to do this. And I will make a video hopefully once a week. Just depends. I have no idea yet. It is possible that I'll make it once a week. And in a couple of weeks, this will be pretty grown in. So, yeah, I will make a video on that starting to grow in. I did plant a bunch of grass seed in our yard. It is just starting to come in, if you look right there. And the birds picked most of it out, so it's not going to be very luscious. So I can't expect their enclosure to be like this, because I'm going to make sure birds can't get into that enclosure. So if they get into that enclosure, I'm kind of doomed, because I need a lot of food for cheap. And as in cheap, free. And all of that space will be plenty fine. First of all, it'll be about that's 8 foot, so probably about a 16 foot by 20 foot by 16 foot around there. That's about around the size. And a good 8 foot by 16 foot by 20 foot by about another 6 foot. L shape will be just pure grass. So they will be munching away throughout their day, like they're meant to do, because they are a grasslands / desert species. And yes, I know their hibiscus is looking a little dead. It is not dying, it's just trying to get acclimated to the new setup, being I did have it indoors for a long time. So it's not used to this temperature, so it's going to drop all its leaves and then grow them all back. I'm kind of used to that now, being I have 50,000 other plants in their indoor enclosure. Obviously an exaggeration. I did plant a bunch of dandelions throughout this big part of their enclosure. They ended up dying. I have no idea why. But yeah, these dandelions over here, they were here when I put this enclosure here a couple weeks ago. You guys probably saw it on my Instagram or Snapchat if you follow me on one of those. And that was the almost finished build. So if you guys have any questions or concerns or comments, leave them down in the comments. I will do my best to read all those. Go ahead and leave negative comments. I appreciate the feedback. I need to know what I'm doing wrong. So go ahead and leave negatives. I'm not going to complain. And thanks for watching.